Casting live, ladies and gentlemen. Sonic Rivals 2, a game with a lackluster story, character interactions, and gameplay. I still like it though. So this video will be split into two sections, history and gameplay, because God knows I won't be able to talk about everything without forgetting. Because I'm clinically insane. The funny part about this is, Rivals 3 was meant to be a thing. Yeah. Rivals 2 has always had a special place in my heart ever since I was a wee lad. Too bad it's as mishandled as Sonic.exe and the storybook series. What have you done? So, without further ado, let's talk about what made me love Sonic Rivals 2. The funniest part about this section is that there isn't a lot known about the second game's development. The only thing I was able to find was a devlog from the Sonic Stadium about the first game and concept art for some of the stages for the second game, but we'll get to that. Quote, Takashi Iizuka will be leading the development of Sonic Rivals, yet the team is an experienced PSP developer called Backbone Entertainment based in Canada. This was also the game where they tried making Silver a compelling character, but they flopped so damn hard on it.
Huh? Someone's behind me.
Move aside, Sonic!
Hey, Silver. Long time no see. Guess you're looking for Eggman too, huh?
I said move aside!
Gosh, shut
never-
up. Let's go ahead and look at that cut content and that sweet beta build. A month before release. Wow! The only stuff I could find were two singular images never used in the final release of the game. One probably explaining how counters worked, like one of them do, and the other most likely used for when trying to connect to multiplayer. Maybe these were used specifically for multiplayer, but how was I supposed to know, am I right? No? Okay. Okay, I'll see myself out. Blue Coast, Neon Palace, Frontiers Canyon, Mystic Haunt, and Budget Crisis City all have concept art, and this is pretty good. The way that some of them were illustrated make me think that the final choices for the stages weren't necessarily the greatest? For the gimmicks, that is. Or lack thereof. The very bottom of Neon Palace shows what seems to be a pinball minigame. Maybe this could have been a pinball area to score massive points or lives leading to alternate paths in the level, because, by design, Rivals 2 is pretty linear with not many bridging paths leading to new areas. Next is Frontier Canyon. We get it? We get it. The bit is over. The bit is over. Interestingly, there seems to be railroads used for Act 3 in the outdoor portions, and a train heading your way ready to finish what Gun started. Similar to the spike traps in Sky Park Zone. Hey Tails, look, a penny! This was most likely meant to be jumped over while grinding. Mystic Haunt isn't any different from the final release design-wise, other than the atmosphere feeling a lot more dead. It kinda reminds me of the ambient occlusions of Sonic.exe Spirits of Hell. A random thought, yes, but the second Tails level really sets the mood of uncomforted and worried. Almost like danger is at every corner, keeping you on your toes. Especially when Exesher tracks Tails on the floor like a child when you get caught. Stop yelling and screaming or we won't be going to the Starbucks! Now Chaotic Inferno is what really caught my eye. It gives off Lava Reef Act 2 vibes if Eggman didn't drop his box of Capri Sun on the floor. The molten lava cracking through the floor with the magenta tiles to run through the pillars of the same color scheme really conveys the destroyed future Silver emphasizes during the story. Even the rocket designs have their own unique flair to give them more personality. These subtle touches would have made stages more memorable. Instead we got inconsistent writing.
What'd you say?
Before we continue on with the gameplay, can I just clarify something? Why is Sonic grabbing one of the panels in the American box? Surprisingly, cough, the gameplay is not redeeming in any sense of the word, because similar to its predecessor, all the characters play the exact same way. Homing attack, air dash, spin dash, and attack map to the circle button, with nothing really distinctive about each character besides one thing. You can collect a certain amount of rings or beat your opponent to submission. You nothing to win. To fill up your signature move bar at the top right corner of the screen to use the designated character's special move. Wow. Sonic uses the Sonic Boom, Tails flies for a short amount of time, what a concept. Knuckles creates a barrier around him blocking every projectile that comes his way. Well, almost everything. Rouge summons Bass to protect her and can be used to launch at your opponent when it decides to, of course. Shadow slows down time for his opponent, Silver will confuse or control, Espio turns invisible for a few moments, and Metal Sonic will copy the abilities of whomever he's facing. This is where the differences end because there is absolutely no change in character speed, damage input in Act 2, or anything else. What I would have preferred is to keep the characters in their designated teams, yes, but give them their own unique abilities to make players choose who they would rather play as. Let all the characters keep their abilities to jump and spin dash, but have full decision on their moveset from that point on. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Silver, Rouge, and Metal Sonic should all use their Project 06 moveset, with Metal Sonic not having a homing attack, but rather a hover. That just leaves Espio. Poor guy. He'd cling onto any nearby wall in a 90-degree angle and double jump, similar to the Espio mod in Sonic Robo Blast 2. But if you keep charging your spin dash for a long enough time, you can perform what I like to call the chaotic soundbreaker, allowing you to enter secret passageways and stunning enemies to throw a Shoryuken using the square button. The way the levels are structured will be changed, so for simplicity, I'll be giving each team their own names as long as Shadow is a cape burning in molten lava for a few extra minutes. My legs are on fire and I'm going to die. Sonic and Tails will be Team Genesis, Knuckles and Rouge, Team Scavengers, Shadow and Metal, Team Experimental, and Silver and Espio, Team Stealth. Team Genesis and Stealth will be collecting Chow, with Espio and Tails having exclusive acts where they collect 3 pages from Eggman's notebook, while Team Scavengers and Experimental collect Chaos Emeralds, with Knuckles and Metal Sonic collecting pieces of the Master Emerald. This doesn't make sense now, but it will later on. Small or large things like this could have given each story and character more variety and made players choose which team in their story they prefer playing over the others, instead of just picking their favorite colorful character they felt more of a connection with. Sega, you have forgotten that we are men and ready to die in the fire. Alright, I almost forgot about this. Each Act 2 of a stage is almost a minigame area where you play either Knockout, Tag, Ring Battle, or Capture the Chow in the story mode, while King of the Hill is played in single player. Knockout is self-explanatory. In essence, mash the circle button and send your opponent to the moon. The only flaw it has is that you can literally, quite literally, stand still and let your opponent come to you so you can give them both the starting and finishing blow. The first stage, I kid you not, can be completed in less than 20 seconds. What is Luminous Force? Instead of the AI coming to you, they entice you to come to them. You could create a system of how many combos you can rank on your opponent before they faint to make it feel like an actual fighting minigame instead of follow the leader. Act 4 is the boss level of each stage, and sorry to say this rival stands, but these bosses are so uninteresting and bland I have absolutely no recollection of their names nor their gimmicks. The Egg Liner is just the Egg Hammer Tank 2. The Egg Crawler is a whack-a-mole but more infuriating. The Egg Dealer is gambling personified, and your rival really doesn't want you to succeed. You so much as hit the doctor once and you will cease. The Egg Bull always confused me as a kid. You're supposed to wait for the bull to stop, jump on the platforms, and wail hits on him, but in some cases, that is not an option. You will either miss your attack, your opponent will slap you to the ground, or the bull will say, "Ah, shoot, it's 5 p.m., I'm gonna miss my therapy appointment." I'm not done yet, you fool! Egg Phantom is actually pretty idiosyncratic, being about making the Phantom follow you to a light source you have to switch on, but if you get hit, it turns your attention to your rival, whom will have to do the same thing as you. It's actually pretty enjoyable. The Ifrit is very impassive though. You have to wait for him to show up, a QTE will start, and you have to damage him as much as you can. Rinse, repeat. All in all, the bosses are not really that enticing, and they rarely show sections of replayability. However, there is one thing that has kept me playing the game for all of these years, and that's the game's areas for speedrunning. Now, unless you live under a rock or you actually have people to talk to in your daily life, every Sonic game has their own method of speedrunning, professional or casual, that keeps the game fresh, while also allowing the player to choose which pathway is the fastest. Sonic Rivals 1 doesn't have that. Sonic Rivals 2 brings that back with a vengeance. If you are to run to a dash pad and continuously mash the circle button, you get an insane boost of speed that gets transferred to jumps, allowing for more than thousands of calculable strategies to pull off that keeps you engaged. Yeah, it's not the best speedrunning tactic. Sometimes you run into a brick wall, sometimes it even slows you down on occasions. No, it's okay, Tails, take your time. It's not like we're trying to save the world or anything. But it's honestly better than nothing. So yeah, in summary, Sonic Rivals 2 isn't the greatest racing Sonic game, but for what it's worth, I'd say it's a decent 6 out of 10 at the very least. Thank you guys so much for watching and staying with me for the past 3 years, it's really appreciated. The channel will deviate from just sprite animations, although I will still be working on Lightning Adventure. Commentary videos like this will be something I'll be thriving for, so I hope you understand the change. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe out there, soldiers.
Oh, f you, fat man. I was hungry. Sue me.